Hey folks, Nathan here from the Star Wars Timeline Gold and Star Wars Beyond the Films, bringing you another look at a Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars product. This is Star Wars Edge of the Empire, the role-playing game's core rulebook. Something we've been waiting on for a long time. Many of us out there who are really interested in the idea of a new Star Wars RPG picked up the beta core rulebook back in the day. This has been months and months ago. Some of us also picked up the Edge of the Empire beginner game, which came with its own adventure that guides you through it as it goes, but then also had this little rulebook to read last as you start preparing for more RPG-style adventures here. But this is the big daddy. Those two are paperback. One is even part of some other product. This one is sold by itself. Note I said by itself, no dice included. Check out the review of the role-playing dice pack or the dice app to get a feel for how you could get those. But this is a substantial book. This is rather thick, comparatively speaking here. This booklet, the rulebook, the sort of basic rules coming from the beginner game, about 50 pages long. So short, it doesn't need a table of contents. It doesn't have one. The beta rulebook was about 200 pages and not a lot of fluff in it. A lot of pages with text all over it, but not nearly as much artwork as you'll see in the final product here. Also, it's missing 2 chapters that the final product did have, or does have. The core rulebook, it's nice, it's hardcover, it starts with a little booklet, sort of a read this first introduction thing, kind of like the little sheet that the beginner game came with. And then you can just kind of see as I flip through the contents here, a lot more artwork built into it. A lot more snazzy looking, little sidebars and whatnot. And of course it's worked in most, though apparently not all, of the fixes that were made between the beta and the final product. There's already an errata thread up on their forums to see about anything that's not been tweaked between the two. But this is about a 400, almost 450 page book here, and it includes all the information you need to start playing. We're going to take a look at the chapters real quick by comparison between this book and the other. We have playing the game, broken down nicely. That was in the beta, as was character creation, skills, talents, gears and equipment, conflict and combat, starships and vehicles, the Force, the Game Master. Then we've got 2 that aren't in the beta at all. The Galaxy and Law and Society. Then we get into Adversaries, which is also in the beta. And then you got Trouble Brewing. Now, here's the interesting part. Trouble Brewing picks up on page 416 here. It's a pre-made adventure here for you, very much like the one you get with the Game Master kit and whatnot. That's not something that was in the beta. The beta instead has an adventure called Crates of Crates. This one did not make the jump. It is exclusive to the beta. The only way you're going to get to play that one is to pick up the beta or find somebody else who has it. This is now out of print. You can find it on eBay and such, but they're going for pretty high prices, as if the core rulebook is not pricey enough, as we'll get to. But Trouble Brewing is another of these nice little adventures, pre-made to give you a chance to start out, get a feel for how to play the game. They tell you what to say as the game master and whatnot, just kind of get you into it. It does not lead you through by the hand the way the beginner game does, but it is a very nice introductory adventure to get you into it, and it's of a decent length. It's not nearly as long as some of the ones that are going to be coming out like Beyond the Rim, but you get what you pay for. This is just included in the core rulebook. Now, speaking of getting what you pay for, this core rulebook, thick, right? Lots of great info, lots of great art, full color, nice hardback, is going to run you, if you buy it retail, $60. This core rulebook is the price of a PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 game, basically. Now, the good news is if you go through somewhere like miniaturemarket.com, which is where I go through, no affiliation or anything, Cool Stuff Inc., places like that, you can find it for cheaper, for about 40 bucks, give or take, but this is a substantial investment. But you got to think of it that way. If you're going to be playing Edge of the Empire and get a lot of fun out of it with your group of players, you're going to need this rulebook. So, in a sense, figure how many times you're going to play it, take 60, divide it by that, tells you about how much per night you're actually playing into this, or paying into this thing. It's worth it, but the price tag may leave you with sticker shock to begin with, so I would look for a discounted copy somewhere. Good stuff, good information, and using that narrative dice style where it's not just about succeeding or failing in a check. It has the other circumstances that are affected by advantages and threats and triumphs and despair and the like. A really cool gaming system that I hope you'll try out, because I think this really is, I mean, it by definition is the future of Star Wars role-playing, but it is a quantum leap into the future with Star Wars role-playing. I love the way the narrative dice system actually works. So, that's it for the newest round of Edge of the Empire rulebooks. There are 2 more coming as they come out with the 2 from the other angles of the Star Wars universe, and we'll check those out as they arrive in the coming years.